Hello there. Hi, I'm Rock2000. So this is my first time opening up the stream, so I hope everything goes well tonight. I decided I wanted to start streaming because I just have a lot of games that I love to play, and I wanted to meet more people who also love to play them. So tonight we're streaming my favorite games of all time, Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3. I estimate I should be able to breeze through both of them in about a 3-hour time span, about an hour for Mega Man 2 and about hour and a half for Mega Man 3, so not too worried about the time tonight. We'll speedrun these games in the future, but we'll see how that goes. So with the way my setup's going, there's probably going to be some technical difficulties along the way, so if you could alert me to that in chat, that would be fantastic, or leave me feedback in comments for ways I can improve the stream. But yeah, I'm going to switch on over to Mega Man 2, and we will get started. Monitor's taking a minute to load for me. There we go. Mega Man 2. Favorite game of all time. There's so many unique things about it that just really stand out. Some really good themes to it and all that. Hold on. Just a second. I just got a comment that game audio might be a little quiet. Let me try to, or it might be a little loud. Gotcha. Let me turn that down a little bit. How's that? If you could let me know. Alright, so with that adjustment, let's get underway. Alright, so you always gotta start with Metal Man because his weapon's broken and beats half the roster. Now, for all the Robot Masters, I'll be using pellets only. For the later bosses, it's kind of arbitrary whether you use weapons or not, so I'll just use their weaknesses for those. But yeah, hopefully, hoping for a no damage run on Metal Man. For the boss fight at least, the stage, yeah, there's a spot or two where I'll probably take some damage, but let's see, let's start this up with Metal Man. E-Tanks are probably the most valuable item in the Mega Man series because while lives let you continually retry, E-Tanks basically give you a second life to fight on without having to actually do any backtracking. They keep you in the fight, since they refill your energy, your health bar. So the flickering you see here is an artifact of the NES emulator. That's pretty much present for all Mega Man games. So pay no mind to that. The Legacy Collection does feature a auto fire, so I am using that for these drills. Most of the time, though, I'll be using manual. This is more of a button mashing section than anything else. Oh, took some damage there. We'll grind that back up. There's a few spots we can camp up ahead. There's a life. Cool. Sit here for a minute and see if we can get an energy tank. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Full health. Yeah, so the blue tanks, for those unfamiliar with the series, restore weapon energy, which we haven't acquired weapons yet, so those are pretty much useless, and the white ones are health, restore your health bar. Oop. Sniped. You get that extra shot in there when you can. Another life. Going pretty good. Not that we'll need them. Ah, dang. Walked too close. That was some spaghetti right there. There we go. Take our time. Alright, not quite a full health bar to get into the Metal Man fight, but that's fine. We shouldn't be taking much damage anyway. I'm going to try a few times to get a no damage run, so I'm going to create a save state here just to make it easier. Actually, it won't matter. I'll probably just take the death if I actually do die. But, alright, let's do this. So Metal Man's AI actually depends on your player's action. He throws 1 to 3 metal blades whenever you fire at him. Up. And so you can actually take your time and go slow if you want to. I prefer to go fast. Makes it more of a challenge. Ah, dang. The other thing that happens in this fight is that the conveyor belt switches directions about every 5 seconds. The white flashes in the background indicate when that happens. Alright, not bad. We're gonna try again though. See if we can't get a slightly cleaner run. I think we took 2 hits last time. Ah, dang, you caught me again. If we get a 1-hit run, I'll move on. Ah, dang. Alright, last time. I'll go for a no damage run in future streams. Ah, there we go. Gotta keep your distance because it's kind of random which direction he throws. When you also get close to him, he jumps up in the air to the opposite side of the screen, runs away from you effectively, and throws a blade at your current position, which is pretty tricky to dodge. I think I've taken only 1 hit this... Ah, 2 hits. Why do I talk? Ah, dang, 3. Oh well, we'll move on. Oops. That fight's always a thrill. We'll go for cleaner runs in the future. Get equipped with Metal Blade. Items broken in Mega Man 2, items broken in Smash. Changed my mind. Alright, next is Woodman. All the themes in this game are bangers, honestly. Woodman is no exception. Again, using auto fire for the rabbits because, whoops, because of that. They can fire out their carrots pretty quickly. We'll have to get that health back at some point. There we go. Alright. There we go. And we'll start using Metal Blade. So Metal Blade, again for those unfamiliar, can be fired in all 8 directions in its original game, hence why it has that power in Smash. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Takes 10 hits to beat them. I usually count in my head. Let's see. 1, 2. That's 10. Alright. So yeah, there's actually a way you can keep infinite Metal Blades. So a Metal Blade It takes throwing 3 or 4 metal blades. It's kind of random to consume one of the energy bars for it, which you can see next to my health bar in that dark brown pattern, I guess. So if you don't throw 3 metal blades, you don't consume energy. And when you enter the or the weapon select menu, you reset that counter. Let me get up here and I'll answer a question in chat real quick. Oops. Alright, let's see what's over here. Yeah, this choice I find to be the easiest because if you do this with, there are a couple of exceptions which I'll point out later in the run. Like you need to be airman before doing a couple of the other stages because he gives you item 2, which I'll explain in a minute, or in a bit. But this is pretty optimal. A lot of speedrunners do start with airman, which is fine, for sure. Let's see here. I find this just to be my favorite route because I like to play these stages. Like Metal Man's my favorite stage in fights, so I don't have to worry about masters, so I start with the best. We won't be needing this for the rest of the stage. If it looks like I'm gaming, I'm not. As long as you stop whenever they come on the screen, you won't take damage from them. They actually do a significant amount of damage though if you don't stop, so we'll create a save state here. Woodman's actually a tough fight to do lemons only, because as long as you're on the left side of the screen, you're going to have a hard time avoiding these falling leaves. And since I'm down on health right now, that's troublesome. See, I almost got a dodge there, but if you take leaf shield damage, you might as well be toast. Now, if you stand on this side, you can actually dodge the falling leaves, like I just did there. Got in a lot of hits. Got him. That went pretty well. So, yeah, it's hard to dodge stuff on the left side of the screen, but if you get over to the right, there's a blind spot where the leaves don't quite cover. So, usually it's hard to get over there. If you're doing a no damage run, I'm not quite sure what the strat is, honestly, to deal with that. I imagine it's rushing that side after he throws the leaf shield. Alright, next is Airman. So this is probably the only one that matters in terms of order for speedrunning, because you get an item from him called Item 2. Item 2 is basically a hoverboard. There's a really atrocious section that we'll see in Heatman stage, or we'll pass by in Heatman stage later, which would be a nightmare to actually try to play, especially in a speedrun setting where dying matters a lot. This is probably the hardest, well, the hardest stage for a knowledgeable player to overcome, because even though you know all the tricks, there's a lot of precise shooting with the little minions that come out of the side of the platforms, or the reappearing platforms. So players get screwed up on those sometimes and fall into the abyss. This section's pretty easy though, as long as you know where you are. Called him out, got him. Oh, I almost had that call out, dang. They come in a very set time, so I've just kind of played this game enough to kind of memorize about when they should show up. That's important for the next section, where they can... that can mean the difference between life and death. We won't need that for a while. This is a tricky section here, because a lot of players want to do this section fast, but the horns that damage you show up pretty quickly after the platform spawns. so you can't immediately jump, so you have to stall for a bit and shoot the demons that come out. There we go. And this is the section of... Oh, okay. I thought I got a pellet off there. Yeah, another bird section. Can't really see them right now because of the clouds. There. We can be pretty lax about how much health we go into Airman's fight with. The meme of him being unbeatable doesn't exactly hold true. There's actually a song written about it in Japanese, Can't Beat Airman. It's pretty comical if you look up the English lyrics to that. Oh wait, yeah, we're doing all lemons. Alright. So Airman has a couple weaknesses to him that make him a really good first boss to go up against. One, he takes double damage to pellets. Two, he's fairly stationary. Three, those tornadoes don't do a whole lot of damage. So you literally can just hold right, or hold left in this case, and just shoot at him. And eventually he'll go down. So, he's pretty straightforward. No damage runs hard because of the wind kind of blowing you back into the tornadoes, and you can't shoot through tornadoes, as you saw there. Or air shooters, I should say. But otherwise, yeah, he's a pretty easy fight. That's why a lot of people say start with Airman, because his boss fight's the easiest. I don't think that's a good stage to start beginners on, because the rest of the stage is actually pretty challenging. But, you know, people have different opinions on that. He's definitely the easiest to take on lemons only, I feel like. I usually start with Metal Man, but there are a lot of obstacles in that stage that can deal high damage if you make a lot of early mistakes, and the conveyor belts can be trippy for new players, so either Airman or Metal Man stage are both acceptable starting stages. Alright, so now those three I would say are like the best order to start in. Now we have an option between Bubble Man and Crash Man. By the way, this order also works for weaknesses if you want to use weapons. So Woodman is weak to Metal Blade, and Airman is weak to Leaf Shield. So that order works too. At this point, you have an option. If we're talking about weaknesses here, you can either do Bubble Man, who's weak to Metal Blade, or you can do Crash Man, who's weak to Air Shooter. Either are open. You could also technically do Flash Man weakness-wise, but there's a reason why you want to do Crash Man first, which I'll talk about later. Because something in the stage. We're going to do Bubble Man for now. This stage is fun. It's chill. As long as you keep one frog on the screen, the other frogs won't summon. There's a couple more of those enemies up here. Notice how he's not shooting any. So, save ourselves a little bit of trouble. Can't do a whole lot about him though. There we go. So all of those platforms are supposed to fall, but with the way Mega Man 2 calculates like platform interactions, you have a frame or two where the game decides, okay, you've landed, and then it decides, okay, this platform should fall. So you can actually jump from platform to platform without causing them to fall, like I just did there. So it's not a bad thing if they fall. Just an interesting tidbit. We're going to spam Metal Blade for the rest of the stage, because everything here is weak to Metal Blade, so... It should take 5 hits, yeah. There we go. Mega Man's physics change a bit in the water. Instead of swimming like, you know, in other games, he just has a higher jump and slower fall speed. So... Whoops, didn't quite get the height there. As you can see, he's falling a lot slower than he would if he were on land. 3, 2, there we go. Yeah, this stage is so easy once you have Metal Blade, it's not even funny. Lemons don't make this a whole lot harder, you just gotta fire more. There we go, 2 for 1 there. So here they summon one in front, one behind. There we go. And one should not summon right before the door, so. Alright, lemons only. Bubbleman's fight isn't hard without lemons. I would say you could start with this stage. There's no reason to start with it though. I think the main stage with lemons would be kind of difficult because I think they take a lot more hits to kill, like the shrimp for example. But Bubbleman's fight is super easy because he doesn't do hardly any damage to you. So, and his pattern is extremely linear compared to the other fights. One note for like all of the boss fights is that you never want to take contact damage. Almost all the Robot Masters have pretty severe contact damage. But invincibility frames in this game are pretty generous, so... got trapped. So if you take the blaster damage from Bubbleman instead, you'll save a lot on health. Notice I took a lot of hits, but I still have half my health. So... Get equipped with Bubble Lead. Alright, Crashman. If you're new to this game, defeating Woodman first makes the stage easier, otherwise it's not really necessary to do any of the others. The boss fight, if you know what to do, is extremely easy. So, I'll show you that once we get there. Got our health back. Good. Crashman's remix in Smash is actually really fun. I don't know, it's a bit on the weird side compared to some of the others. Like, it's not like straight guitar, it's just kind of synthetic stuff, but I don't know, I like it. I think it picks up on the mood of the stage pretty well. Kind of fun, whimsical. In fact, that was the design direction that the producers were after. Like, all the other tones apparently were like serious and you know, whatever. They wanted something more whimsical to go with one of the stages, and this is what they came up with. Crashman's theme. So once I get to this side, I really shouldn't be shooting too many of the ones that are on the far right, because they could summon on the left instead of the right, or the tellies, the little spinny dudes. Because that would cause them to summon right on top of me, and then I couldn't defend myself. So I always take damage there. There's a section up here we can grind. Ah, I took damage. Dang. There's a little curve peck trick you can do to avoid taking damage there, but it's hard. Alright, up here, I don't know how you do this next section on a no damage run, because the way the birds summon, yeah, like, well, you could do it with Metal Blade, but with a lemons only no damage run, dude, I don't know. I think there's a trick where if you hold your stick towards the right, you tend to summon the birds on the right, like you're seeing here. So maybe speedrunners could use that. Also, I should point out that there are two major categories to speedrunning this game. There's Warp and Warpless. Oh, by the way, this is item 2. A hoverboard. So anyway, there's a glitch in this game that lets you warp through walls. So you can shave off about 10-15 minutes off of a warpless time. Whoa. It came on fast. We're gonna grind for health here. There we go. Yeah, right here. Let's do a little dance. Anyway, so there's a glitch that lets you warp through walls. that can shave off a lot of time on a default run. I believe that's full health, so we'll go ahead. But since there's such a big discrepancy between the two, and people like this game enough to, you know, actually play it, that, you know, they basically made two categories. I believe a warp less run. I want to say the record for that is like 36 minutes, 38 minutes, somewhere in there, and a warp run is about I want to say it's like 26 minutes, like it's something like that. Alright, so I am going to play this fight the way it's intended. In other streams I might have more fun, but this is another reactive AI fight. So every time you fire, Crashman jumps and fires a Crash Bomb. He can only fire one Crash Bomb at a time. So the intended strategy here, you just walk back and forth, shoot a pellet, you'll hit him. We're going to do this 28 times, because every Robot Master has 28 health. Easy dub. Yeah, it's kind of funny to think, like, if new players come in here don't know this is the strat, and they just spam lemons all over the place, and they just get wrecked by Crashman. Those Crash Bombs do a lot of damage, and he does a good bit of contact damage, too. And with how much he jumps, he's kind of hard to hit. 3/4 the way there. One more. Alright, that does it. Not the most exciting thing to see, but it is kind of cool the flow that the fight takes once you know the strategy. Get equipped with Crash Bomber. Alright, so you want Crash Bomber for Flashman stage, because there's basically a no fight route, no interaction route that you can take that I'm going to do here. Also, Flashman stage has ice physics for no real good reason. I'm just sliding here. Yeah, once you know the route to the stage, it's super easy, as long as you don't screw up a couple jumps. Also important to note that if you jump, you cancel all momentum that you have from the sliding, so that's useful. So Crash Bomb blows up those walls, which block the easiest route. So you want Crash Bomb to deal with those. Alright. Get that, and then we're going to use item 2 to get up there. There we go. And now we're on the easy route. Blow up 3 walls, we'll be on our way. Yeah, all of Mega Man's specials from Smash come from this game. His other moves come from other games, obviously, but side specials, Crash Bomb, neutral specials, Metal Blade, down specials, Leaf Shield, which I haven't shown yet, but we'll be showing that. We'll show that much later. Yeah, that jump's hard. You can usually bonk there if you're not used to it, so. Notice how I'm not having to fight like half the enemies you're seeing. Yeah, just walk right around them. So, if you do this section right, there's a reward at the end of it. Not that hard of a section, but you get an E-Tank. There we go. Alright, Flashman. I ran this fight earlier today, and he wasn't as much as a pushover as I remember him being with pellets, so we'll see how this goes. But should have timed that jump a lot better. So his thing is, he has the ability to stop time temporarily. Take a pop shot at you. Yeah, like that. See, I thought I was going to take contact damage there. Dang. Kind of gimmicky, but He also, I'm pretty sure he takes double damage to lemons, so he's kind of on the easier side too. The only thing that makes that stage bad for beginners is that you have to fight a lot of enemies that would be tough to deal with just lemons. I think the boss fight's pretty fair for an inexperienced player, but that would be a hard stage to fight without Crash Bomb to make an easy way for you. I guess you could start with Crash Man's stage and do it like that, but getting Flash Stopper doesn't help you. Oh, also, we're getting item 3. Item 3 is useless. We're going to use it once on one of the fights much later in the game. But basically what it is a wall climber platform sort of thing. Heatman. Alright. Now, you have to do Airman stage before you do Heatman stage, no matter what route you plan, because you need item 2 to beat the stage efficiently. Because this stage has one of the staples to the Mega Man series, disappearing blocks. We won't see those until the second half of the stage, but those are a nightmare. I could have jumped under him, but I didn't feel like risking it. Oh, actually y'all are going to see Leaf Shield right now. So yeah, with Leaf Shield, as long as you're standing still, it'll rotate around you, nothing will penetrate you, and when you walk, you throw it. So it behaves a little differently in Smash, but it'd be kind of lame if it behaved exactly like it did in the real game. Because if you walk, you throw it. Yeah, these are disappearing blocks. That's like the introduction room. So, sniped. Ah, crap. Missed up my timing there. There we go. Back on track. That one's tricky because there's a delay on that one. And that's the disappearing block sections we're going to be dealing with. This section up here is why you need item 2. Because... oh, messed that jump up. Was a block off. Alright, and we're going to take item 2 safely over everything. Yeah, all those blocks that you're going to see appearing on the left side of your screen, those do not appear at that same rate. They're just trying to catch up with the screen. Those all appear in random orders and they're all over the place. They are absolutely atrocious to try to jump across, especially over a giant death pit. So yeah, that section is awful. I don't think anyone really ever attempts that section. So yeah, we use item 2 to get over that. He takes 5 hits of Bubble Lead. There we go. Alright, back to lemons. So this is another reactive, or player responsive AI. It's a bit more challenging than Crash Man's because it tends to... Heatman tends to... or he has a bigger hitbox, and you'll see in a minute. So if you don't hit him with a lemon, he fires those 3 flame pillars you see there. If you hit him, he lights up his body in flames and charges at you at your current position. So as long as you keep firing at him, you can just keep jumping over and hitting him again. Now, the tricky part to this fight is that his charge time is different. So you'll notice that he's taking a really long time to charge, but that time was really quick. So you never quite know when he's going to actually charge at you. Whoa, okay. See, that time was a bit short. Yeah, that can be a bit tricky. He also does a ton of damage. Not so much with the contact part, but if he hits you while he's actually in, I believe it's Heat Tackle is what it's called. If he hits you while he's in Heat Tackle, you're losing half your health. Like, it's bad. So, Atomic Fire, which resembles in no way anything Heatman did, but it's fine because it lets us cheese a fight later. Not cheese. They designed it that way, but whatever. Item 1 is a hovering platform, so essentially when you release it, it's just a platform and then it slowly rises. It's really useful. We need it to clear some rooms. In fact, you can't beat the game without it, so. Something that I liked that they did with this game that they kind of continued in 3 but didn't really continue after that is that they made the Wily Castle stages dependent on the fact that you have all the items. So it allows for some interesting new challenges to be thrown your way. I'm just going to use Metal Blade briefly to deal with these dudes so that I have a safe jump. There we go. Same with down there. Alright. This section coming up is a big reason why you have to save the stage for last and why this stage sucks for beginners. Oh, pff, took damage. Uh-oh. Wow, I thought I was dead there. Alright. Not as clean of a drop as I was hoping for, but yeah, those death blazers, they touch you, you're dead. And if you don't know the route, you're kinda screwed. I gotta hope for a health drop along here. I got a small one. I don't think I'm gonna be getting... Oh, you know what? There's an area later where we'll be getting an E-tank anyway, so it's okay if we burn one in this fight. Alright, this is the long laser section. The last one was just to introduce you to the concept that you can die instantly. This is the one where it actually tries to kill you instantly. So yeah, you gotta know the route. No challenge for someone who does know the route, but it can be pretty frustrating for someone who doesn't. There we go. Not too bad, we didn't die. Good thing. Yeah, the Walker Sweet to air shooter, so let's hope we get a health. I think that was 5 shots. We need... Oh, there's a bit more. Whoa. Alright, let's beat him fast. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah, that walker should have died right there, but sometimes the game just doesn't register that. It's something weird with landing again. Alright, this is the hardest fight to do with Lemons, because just a lot of reasons. I'll just let y'all see it. We might be trying this fight a few times. He's quick. You gotta get lucky. Oof. Yeah, you can't, oh, wow, okay. Ah, dang. See, I'm trying to take boomerang damage instead of... Ah, dang. Alright. We'll try that again. I'll take a death so I can get a full health back if need be. Ah, dang. I thought those boomerangs were going to come out. I was going to tank those. Ah, dang. Took contact again. Whew, got him. Okay, took 2 tries, but pretty good. He's a hard fight. He's a hard fight for sure. Damageless, that's the hardest fight in the game. For sure. His boomerangs are next to impossible to dodge. Although his weapon is completely useless. Okay, so for those watching with headphones, you might want to turn your audio down for a second. We got an annoying sound coming up. Give y'all a second. There we go. Look at that wily wiggle. Getting all the ladies. Yeah, Wily's ship has an atrocious sound to it. Alright, this might be the best stage ever created. Not gonna lie. It just does everything right. It challenges you. It's got good scenery. You'll see why in a minute, but... Oh. Yeah, we're good. Ah, dang. Well, messed up 2 birds, but anyway, this is like one of the few stages in the early games where it like really resembles you're penetrating a fortress. So, it's pretty cool. Oop, there we go. There's our health. Okay, so a unique gimmick to the Wily stages, and this goes for all of the classic series, so the regular Mega Man numbers. You do not get your weapon energy back across stages like you do in the Robot Master stages, so you have to be really conservative about which weapons you choose to use when. You also, if you got desperate, you could spam that infinite Metal Blade trick I talked about earlier. I don't really need this life, it just feels right to get. Corner jump! Yeah, we got the corner jump. Nice. No, so you can't fire a different weapon when you have one weapon that you've already fired on screen. So, like here, I'll show it with Metal Blade. I'll throw it up and try to pause. So I was spamming pause, but you noticed I wasn't able to pause until the Metal Blade was off the screen. So, yeah, no, you can't actually combo them. That would be cool if you could, though. Oh, I don't need item 1, I need pellets. There we go. P for pellets. I actually don't know what it stands for. Alright, we're gonna get that energy tank for my item 1. I believe that was 6 shots, takes 10 to beat, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, fired an extra one. Ah, he's gonna crush my hand! Ah, my hand! I should have been bold and left the full hand up there. I was just a little scared that he might actually hit me. Hitboxes in this game are weird. You can never really tell when they are. Like, all of Mega Man's... his Buster, not his hitbox at all. This is actually one of the more creative rooms in the game, I think, because, like, you approach this room as a new player, and you think, how the heck do I beat this? There's just a giant gap. And then, you know, you come up with a solution to put, 3 hovering platforms at once. You know, it's pretty cool. And something else is that you let go of ladders when you change weapons, or enter the weapon select screen, so you gotta hold up after that. That gets new players. So I would have fallen down there if I wasn't holding up. So this is part of the scenery I was talking about. So in here is like a cave, or, well, it's really a building. But it's like you're entering Wily's lair for real this time. You've been outside the whole time, you know? And this is like the last time you're going to see sunlight before you enter the Den of the Dragon. I think it's good foreshadowing, honestly. So, got some light platforming here. Ah, a dragon! This is actually one of my favorite boss designs in the whole series, because it just appears right behind you. Unfortunately, this boss doesn't have invulnerability frames. In fact, none of the Wily Castle bosses do. Yeah, so none of the Wily bosses have invulnerability frames when they get hit, so you can just spam lemons in their face and they're effectively all weak to lemons because you can shoot them so fast. But dang, he's a really cool design. I wish he was a harder fight, but I guess technically, according to lore, his entire like body is a helium balloon. So yeah, I guess he shouldn't be that hard if he's a giant balloon dragon. But anyway, item 1, get that full. I'm gonna be patient here for a minute. Got a life, cool. Again, lives are kind of inconsequential because we're using save states for bosses, just to make it easier for backtracking purposes and editing and stuff, but we might burn through a couple later. Ooh, I almost missed that ladder. Yeah, so this is again the easier route. If you can make that jump to that shorter ladder, you get a reward for it. That E-Tank and a refill for your item too. It is very important on this screen you do not let go of your ladder, because although it looks like a clear shot, it is indeed not. Alright, and now the true test of gamer skills. Button mashing. Yeah, this section literally just exists because they just wanted to test your ability to button mash, it feels like. There's no challenge, you just walk forward slowly. It's patience. I don't know, I guess there's something symbolic about, you know, exhibiting courage and patience as the hero, waiting for your opportunity to walk through, pushing through the challenge. Because as tedious as this is, it has to be done, sort of thing. I don't know. I don't mind it. It's also a good section to grind, if you took damage earlier. Although there really aren't that many sections to do that. Take damage, so. I think we're almost through. Yeah, see, I wasn't even hitting that drill right there. Oh, ah, dang. Well, that was fortunate. You have to go slow, because they can summon right on top of you, but I think we're through now. So the skewer you see on the top left is probably one of the hardest to get around. Yeah, it's barely visible on y'all's screen with the overlay there. But you have to like juke it first, and then put a platform down. Tight timing, but it can be done. They also do a lot of damage, so it is worth learning. Am I gonna get this? Nice, got it. It used to be a lot worse at that, but I've seemed to be getting it the past few runs I've done. Alright. So now I'm actually going to use a weapon for the first time in a boss fight. Makes it easier. It really doesn't drastically change the boss fight much at all. To use Bubble Lead versus Lemons. This boss is invulnerable until they combine, so that's why I'm waiting. The middle two squares are also safe, completely safe for you to stand on, so that's a tricky one right there. Almost done. There we go. Yeah, so if you did it with lemons only, I believe it takes 2 or 3 shots to take them out, so not all that differently. You just have to jump a little higher and get a little closer, so it really doesn't make that big of a difference. We are cruising. Alright, since we've been doing pretty well on items and stuff, we don't need either of these, but you could use Crash Bomb to break these walls and get the energy tank into weapon refill. But we don't need those, because you can only carry a max of 4 E-tanks in this one, which I believe is one of the lowest limits across any Mega Man game. Most of them are 9. There we go. So yeah, we don't need that E-tank at all. So you're going to see some big holes up here. Normally there's giant fish that jump out of them, but if you go across the section... Oh, well there was one. Cool. Usually if you go across that section kind of fast, you don't see them. If you touch the fish, they're instant death, so don't touch them. Don't feed the fish. Alright, so this drop right here is probably the most perilous in the whole game. Now, technically, you can use pause buffering, like I'm doing here, to stall your fall, make it easier. I won't. Hopefully I can do this dry. I'm gonna make a safe state here, just in case, though. Alright, let's do it. Got it. Nice. Yeah, other than this, it's just knowledge of where not to be. Like, don't hold left right there. The only thing you have to do for that last drop we did is technically hold, hold left a little bit on the first screen, and you can technically clear all of the screens by doing so. You will probably find that you get a little too close to the left spikes on the first screen for comfort if you do that, so you might want to shift once you get to the second screen, but anyway, that's technical. Quick Boomerang sucks, but it makes this fight faster because this boss is technically weak to it, so we're going to use it. This is the only time you're going to see me use Quick Boomerang. A lot of reasons why it sucks. 1, it doesn't fire perfectly straight. 2, its range is extremely limited. It only goes about a third of the screen. It is highly efficient though, so if you need a weapon in a pinch, I guess it could work. Also, Gutsdozer is a huge pushover. Huge pushover, like I just demonstrated right there. The fist is a hitbox, don't run into the fist. The shots are too low to really hit you. The only thing you have to worry about are the Mets that you might land on. The Mets are the little hat dudes. But they don't really pose that much damage, so if you're not going for a damageless run, very easy boss fight. You can do the fight just about as fast with lemons instead. But ooh, got that. Cool. Alright. But yeah, push over. So the trick with this stage is that although you can't see it, there's spots in the tile that let you fall through. Like here, I'll do it. See? Go right through the floor. Kind of tricky, especially if something were below it. There's a trick to this. As long as you do full jumps, you will be completely fine. The gaps aren't even that big anyway. They're just big enough for you to fall through if you don't know what you're doing, so it's pretty lenient overall. Yeah, like see, I kind of missed the ladder there, but there's a platform underneath there, so doesn't matter. Another E-tank if you wanted it. Alright, for this upcoming section, just to make it trivial, I'll use Leaf Shield. It's what I would normally do on the Crashman section, but I was going to flex a little. Yeah, this is Mega Man 2. I'm doing this run right now. We'll do this run more in the future. Cool though. Yeah, so as long as I don't move, Leaf Shield stays active and just beats everything. So, yeah. So again, we'll use Leaf Shield, make it trivial here. Is he gonna get me before the platform lands here? That telly, he's coming on fast. Nope. So here we have to lose a little bit of Leaf Shield, because we have to jump over that gap there, but we technically don't need any energy, or need to expend any energy the next time we're going to use it. So, it's trivial how much energy that has left. Actually, we need item 2. So, the way I usually did this in the past was use item 2, but you can also wait for this platform to make the whole bend and then jump when it's right there. So, yeah, that works too. We're gonna need air shooter here. Yeah. There we go. Alright, so this section, best strat is the damage boost. There's another walker up here, so take a bit more pellet damage. Yeah. It's arbitrary how much health we go into this fight with. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, so to explain this fight before I get into it, because I gotta kind of focus when we do that. So this is the Boo Beam fight. So the Boo Beams, after a set interval, will fire really fast lasers that are basically impossible to dodge. However, there's an interaction when you go into the weapon select screen that Mega Man is invincible for a brief second when he comes back on. And if the projectile that's about to hit you is fast enough, it'll actually go right through you and do no damage. So it's kind of glitchy right now because the screen is super full. But I'm going to keep spamming pause, and if you notice really carefully, you will notice, yeah, there's little pink orbs kind of zipping around me right now. We're going to blow up this wall, make this screen a little less cluttered. There we go. So, these Boo Beam traps are set up in such a way that you can fire exactly one Crash Bomb or one Item 1. Before I missed that jump, I gotta pause real quick. You can fire one Crash Bomb or one Item 1 before they fire again. So as long as you're patient, you won't lose any health. This fight's probably the easiest in the game to do no damage. It is, however, impossible to do with lemons only. Ooh, took damage. This boss is only weak to Crash Bomb. It is literally impossible to beat this game lemons only, technically speaking. So, yeah, this game was released in 1989. I believe I used a Crash Bomb here, so I gotta wait. Oh, there we go. Wondering when he was gonna shoot. Yeah, it was released in 89. Yeah, pretty old game. You also only have exactly enough Crash Bombs to, take out the boss. I am completely out of Crash Bombs right now, so I can't use them at all for the rest of this run, because there's nowhere along this run to get energy again. So yeah, this fight, a lot of people don't like it because they say it's like really gimmicky. Because, you know, exactly enough Crash Bombs. You can't even blow up all the walls. Like, I left some of those destructible walls. So yeah, kind of gimmicky, but I like it. I think it's unique. Up first, I think it's Heatman. Or is it? Yeah, I think Heatman's up here. Yeah, Heatman. There we go. He's weak to Bubble Lead. I'm going to use the boss's weaknesses just to make this go faster. You'll notice I'm doing a lot more damage to him right now. And that's why I did lemons only. Yeah, lemons only for the bosses. I believe Airman's next. Airman's even easier. I'm gonna take some damage, but like, maybe not. Oh, look at that, no damage. You literally just stand there and keep pressing Y. Bars at the top. It might be the overlay. The bars at the top of this screen are just there for decoration. Oh, the green and white, my bad. Okay, so the green is the weapon energy gauge. So I have like about 2/3 of my leaf shield energy left. The white one is my health bar. So when that depletes, I lose a life. So yeah, I believe Woodman is next. He's weak to Metal Blade. So see, the green changed to brown because I switched to Metal Blade. Whatever color that is, I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's pretty weak to Metal Blade. Compared to Lemons, at least. This fight isn't a complete pushover. Ooh, I took Leaf Shield damage. Yeah, that did a lot more. Whatever. Bubble Man's next, and he's weak to Metal Blade as well. Yeah, it's basically ammo. There we go. Oh, almost full health. Yeah, you have an infinite amount of pellets. That is a good point to bring up. So, who's next? I believe it's Quickman. Alright, we gotta flex on him. Ready for this? This is Flashman's weapon, by the way. Look at these moves. So fast. Yeah, so if you use Flash Stopper on him, he loses half of his health. Just straight up. Which is very useful. I didn't have to take that last hit there, technically. But I wanted to make sure that that energy dropped away from the teleporter so that I got it before I left the room. I think Crashman's up next. Yeah. This... Yeah, so the tricky part about the rematch with Crashman, oh yeah, not Drillman. Drillman's in Mega Man 4, I believe. Yeah. The tricky part about Crashman is that his first Crash Bomb that he shoots, he actually does on his own instead of being player responsive like he normally is. So that's why that fight got a little nasty. This is funny. Watch this. Half of his damage. 2 hits and he is down. That's funny. Last is Flashman. He's also weak to Metal Blade. It's all good, dude. This game's old. There we go. Alright, full health. We're good. Alright, so next is probably the hardest fight in the game. I know it's a Crashman. He's the hardest of the Robot Masters, but this fight's atrocious with no damage. So yeah, it's just... Anyway, you'll see why in a minute. The first phase is pretty simple because... Oh yeah, we haven't shown Atomic Fire yet. So this is a chargeable weapon. So a fully charged Atomic Fire does half of the first phase's damage. And from here we switch to Metal Blades. Those balls do a lot of damage and are very hard to dodge. I will be using an E-Tank here. Whoa, okay, that was dangerous. I shouldn't have thrown that last blade, because if you recall, I can't get to the weapons select screen whenever I have a weapon out. So I could have taken damage and died there technically, which would have been really bad because I didn't make a save state. Cool, he's down. We are almost through this run. Last stage coming up. Yeah, that's a tough fight. Okay, so I am going to make a save state here so I can show y'all something. A little symbol to the game. So, yeah. No music. Kind of that ominous behind the scenes. This really isn't a part of the game. What's about to come, sort of thing. That's acid. It does a ton of damage. So normally, you have to wait. Let it drop. Proceed slowly. You know, we perceive it as danger. That sort of thing. So I'm going to go back to my save state because that is only a perceived danger. If we don't perceive it as danger and charge headstrong into it, I'm holding right intentionally here. So keep going fast. No danger whatsoever. Kind of cool. Yeah, it's only a perceived danger sort of thing. You know, it's if you charge headstrong into it, no danger whatsoever. Kind of a symbol of the next fight, honestly. You know, so yeah, you'll see what I mean if you haven't seen this yet. He's an alien! Oh no! So, if you get hit by contact damage to him, you lose over half your health. So, you gotta be very careful. This boss is also only weak to Bubble Lead, which is kind of funny. You'll see why in a minute, but any other weapon actually heals him. So, another gimmick to the game, you can't beat it lemons only, blah blah, you know. But has Wily turned into an alien? You know, all these fantastical machines he's built, this final transformation into an alien. What does it all really mean? We're gonna find out as soon as we beat this boss. Ooh, bit slow on the trigger there. Oh, yeah, epileptic warning, sorry. Yeah. It was all an illusion, just like everything Wily built. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Mega Man 2. So a couple things. One, Dr. Wily's first name is Albert, so that would be correct. Two, that ending towards the end is often regarded as one of the most mysterious endings to the Mega Man series. Why didn't Mega Man teleport home? He's been teleporting everywhere. What was he thinking about as he walked home? I think the X series kind of alludes to a lot of this, about how he's thinking about, why am I fighting? What was the point of beating the doctor, and hurting my own kind, sort of thing. It's really ambiguous, but that leaves the door open for a lot of analysis to be had about it. It's really deep, actually. It kind of plays into the rest of the series. It's so intriguing. He was walking home for over like a year. We saw all the seasons pass by. It took him that long to go home. And that decision to leave the helmet on the hill and kind of leave the player behind as well. He was going to go back and lead his peaceful life on his own. He was separate from you, instead of just acting in the play that, we were playing with him in the game. Yeah, game theory. But also, something to point out at the beginning of the game, when I hit the mode selection at the beginning of the game, when Mega Man was standing on top of the building, he didn't have his helmet on. And when you hit start game, he puts his helmet on. And he leaves it on the hill at the end of this game. Just saying. I like Fishman at the end. It's kind of cool.